Yeah. And especially this is important for entrepreneurs as well, right? People who want to start their own business. Like, where should they start from? What are your tips, since you've gone through a lot of failures? Let's say people who want to start their own business, what are your top two or three things that you think they should concentrate
I think the biggest thing is to definitely focus a lot on the market and the opportunity itself.
on?
The one big mistake that people end up making is they seduce themselves or they trick themselves into believing that the opportunity they're working on is far bigger than what it actually is. And it's only once they start working on it, they realize that this isn't a big opportunity. This perhaps isn't a big business, but they are now stuck. And they're stuck because it's emotionally drawing. They're stuck because they're perhaps financially stuck. They're stuck because they've just invested so much time in it. And that makes it really hard for them to get out. So the next thing you know is that you feel this constant frustration that your time is going towards something that is not meaningfully large. And we all feel that at some point of time. First is the realization that the market is a really big and an important determinant of how you're going to feel working on your startup. The second one is almost is going to end up being about people. It's not going to be about product. It's not going to be about money. It's not going to be about technology, but it's going to be about people. And people would be people that work with you, people who you are building the product for, people that you are partnering with. It's ultimately going to be how comfortable you are dealing with people. Because if you aren't, then it's going to be a really intensely hard journey. And you might not do well in it, or you might not succeed. So the second piece is then about people. And the third one, really comfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity, because things are not going to be certain. Things are not going to be laid out in a manner that you know step one, then step two, then step three, then step four. You have to figure out a path. And that path may have been something that no one else has ever walked upon. And you have to create that path for yourself. And that is fairly intimidating and overwhelming with a lot of people, because most of us, because especially in India, because of the way that we have been trained at school, we're all trained to be very prescriptive. We're all trained, this is a question, this is the answer. If you answer this answer, then you get the full marks. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And thus, we're so habituated to being very clinical and methodical in how we approach things. And if there is anything that's open-ended, we get very unsettled.
Yeah.
So these three things, in my opinion, are the important starting points to realize within. Of course, there are clinical procedures that are required to start a company, but that's a simple Google search away. It's nothing that I will tell you that you wouldn't know.
Correct. And